please. Okay. We will share a few housekeeping items before we begin. Today's webinar is recorded and shared with all registrants. Closed captioning is available in both English and French. Just click the closed captioning button in your Zoom control panel at the bottom of your screen. At the end of today's session, we will have a Q&A period. Please leave your questions in the Q&A box in the control panel. There will be a feedback survey that launches on your browser once you exit today's webinar. We really appreciate your input on how we did today. And if you have any questions about today's programming, please email us at rrr@redcross.ca. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies has seen fundamental principles which we also honor in Canada. These principles align with Indigenous peoples of Canada's 7 sacred teachings. Where I reside on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe peoples, these are also known as the grandfather teachings of wisdom, love, respect, bravery, honesty, humility, and truth. Others, such as the Dene laws, IQ values, or Dakota values, are also similar in their teachings. Now, I am so pleased to invite Lori White to join us on screen for the presentation. Welcome, Lori.
Now remember to take myself off mute. Sorry, can we just pause for 1 second here? I just remembered I did not put my land acknowledgement in here as you were talking. I meant to put it in my introduction. I'm just going to add that in super quickly because I can do that really, 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 really fast. If my computer will cooperate with me.
So Sandy doesn't look like she's in Vienna yet. It doesn't look like Vienna.
Not yet.
Soon.
A few days.
Exciting.
Okay. All right. Now I'm ready.
Perfect. I'm so pleased to invite Lori to begin our presentation.
Tanse Lori White Ntsigasun. I am the manager of the Indigenous Injury Prevention Program with the Canadian Red Cross. I am happy to be here today and presenting this webinar on water watchers. A little bit about me before I begin. I have been lifeguarding for almost 19 years. It'll be 19 years this fall. I started my aquatics journey in 2004 when I was 15 years old and joined an Indigenous youth leadership program with the city of Edmonton and earned as many aquatic certifications as I could. I found my passion working with Indigenous people and aquatics. I am Métis Cree from Edmonton. My mom's family comes from Alexander First Nation, and my dad's family comes from Fishing Lake Métis settlement. I've been with the Red Cross for almost 2 years, and this role has allowed me to travel and expand my desire to reach Indigenous people in their home communities across the country and share my love for swimming, providing drowning prevention, fire and fall prevention, and first aid programs. Thank you for allowing me to share with you today. I respectfully acknowledge the homelands of the Indigenous peoples of the Treaty 6 territory and Métis District 9. I recognize and honor my ancestors who came before me and the future generations who will come after me. Today, we will delve in what it means to be a water watcher. I want to add a bit of a trigger warning as there will be mention of drowning and drowning statistics. Please step away if you need to take time for self-care and if this is a tough topic for you. So let's review the goals of today's session. Please take note of these 3 key takeaways we hope you will walk away with by the end of this session. First, we want you to understand the purpose of the Water Watchers program, why it exists, and how it builds safer communities. We will discuss common environmental hazards that increase drowning risks and how to respond to common emergencies in and around the water. We want to highlight the idea that you don't have to be a lifeguard to make a difference. Everyday people, parents, neighbors, and friends can play a powerful role in preventing injuries just by being aware and proactive in and around the water. You will learn some practical strategies to spot and reduce potential hazards before they become emergencies. And finally, we hope you feel empowered when understanding the risks and feel comfortable preparing to supervise in and around the water. Even small actions can help save lives. Before we begin, I would like to talk about our relationship to water, our kinship to water, Wakotowin in Cree. In many cultures, we have stories of water, Nipi, creation stories, stories of survival, and stories to warn of dangers of the water and blessings water provides. I want you to take a moment to think about your relationship to water. Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one? Maybe something you haven't even given much thought. My personal relationship to water is a strong one. I have always had a deep respect for water, a healthy fear as a child. I respect the power that water holds. For me, water is healing. It's my happy place. Whenever I'm stressed or anxious, I go for a swim. If I can't swim, I take a hot bath or a hot shower, and I let that water run over me and flow. With that flow, I try to let go of my worries, my anxieties, and I try to find clarity. An elder I used to work with our youth group would speak to us of strength of water. She would remind us that the water is powerful element and it can bore through rocks and create canyons. It can cause destruction, but water also provides life. You can water a seed and watch it grow. Our bodies are made up of mainly water. Once we recognize that power, we can have a healthy respect and a relationship to water. A creation story I was told as a child came from Wasaki-Chak. Wasaki-Chak was a trickster. There was much war and bloodshed, and this is the shortened version of the story. And the creator flooded the lands to wash it away, leaving a few creatures to swim down to gather earth for Wasaki-Chak to rebuild from. The smallest animal, the muskrat, was the one who was able to swim down and grab the dirt. The story shares that the warning of how powerful water can be, but it also shares the resilience of even the smallest creatures. Today's session is about water safety in and around the water, and I want you to remember Wakotowin. Remember your relationship with the water. I want to thank you in advance for your presence and participation today. It's your efforts that help reduce the number of water-related incidents in your communities. So to begin, let's define what a Red Cross Water Watcher is and what this could mean for your community. Water watchers are individuals who are trained to know how to spot hazards in an aquatic environment before accidents and emergencies happen. Over 10 years ago, the Canadian Red Cross developed the Water Watcher program in partnership with the Lifesaving Society and RBC to give everyday people information on how to keep groups of people safe at waterfronts such as barbecues, family events, and youth groups. With these efforts, our main goal was to help reduce water-related incidents in communities across Canada. A water watcher is someone who is untrained as a lifeguard but responsible for supervising or guiding individuals in an aquatic environment to ensure their safety. They are typically part of a group of adults who take turns watching the aquatic environment. This could be water-related activities or activities near a body of water. When lifeguards are not available, this team can reduce drowning incidents by learning basic prevention techniques, including identifying risky behavior and enforcing safety rules when people gather near water. In this webinar, we are sharing the basics of our in-person Water Watcher program so that you can learn from home and take these tips to your pools, beaches, and waterfronts. To start, I want us to get thinking about who is at most risk when it comes to water-related fatalities in Canada. These statistics come from the Lifesaving Society of Canada, and shortly you'll see a pop-up on your screen. Please take a moment to answer. So what do you think? Which of the following groups is considered at highest risk of drowning according to national statistics? We will give you a few seconds to answer. Okay, April has closed the pool, and you should see how many people have responded. Seniors age 65 plus, children under 12, young men and boaters, and D, all of the above. Thank you very much for participating, everyone. The answer was D, all of the above. April will be dropping a link in the chat if you would like to learn more. Each year, tragic and avoidable drownings occur across Canada. These statistics are from the Government of Canada's Health Info Base. We do have additional resources that I might be mentioning throughout the presentation from the 2024 National Drowning Report prepared by the Lifesaving Society by the Drowning Prevention Research Centre of Canada. Between April 1st and 2011 and April 13th, 2023, there are 1,109 drowning-related cases in Canada. Out of those 1,109 cases, over 1 in 2 happened in residential or public swimming pools, 56%. 1 in 5 happened in natural bodies of water, including ponds, lakes, and rivers, 18.8%. And 237 happened in bathtubs, almost 3 out of 4, which involved infants under the age of 1, 73%. As a water watcher, it's important to know what the roles of other water safety professionals, such as lifesavers and lifeguards. While both roles are associated with aquatic emergencies, their responsibilities, training goals are very different. Think of steps. The higher you go, the more training is required. The more specialized equipment and protocol, the more water hazards and risks are involved. You can see the lifeguard at the top step. This individual is highly trained for actual water rescue. Along with monitoring and enforcing water safety, if someone is in distress in the water, a lifeguard can enter the water and help that person. They are part of a team using specialized equipment and protocols. On the next step down, we have a lifesaver. This person has some formal training in water rescue, sometimes works alone, and doesn't have specialized equipment and reacts to an aquatic emergency, generally in open water. A water watcher is not a lifeguard or a lifesaver. As a water watcher, you are not expected to perform water rescues. I will say that again. As a water watcher, you are not expected to perform water rescues. In fact, that could further endanger the person in distress if you don't have the formal training. Your role as a water watcher is to stay alert, spot potential dangers early, and respond by getting help or guiding others to act safely. Your power is in prevention before something becomes an emergency. Again, unless we have formal training as water watchers, we are never entering the water to perform a rescue. Even the strongest swimmers, under the best conditions, have needed help or had to pull back from a distressed swimmer if they approach them in a way that the swimmer can pull them under. Keep yourself safe and others safe by not entering the water for water rescues. So now that we have an understanding of who is at risk and in which types of environments, as a water watcher in our communities, what can we do? There are 3 keys to water safety. Oh, I'm going to change that to drowning prevention. Really quick, sorry. They lay out the foundation for our Water Watcher program, and they also guide the rest of our webinar. First, prepare. This means knowing the risks and recognizing the risks and creating a plan. Number 2, stay safe. This is about the choices we make around the water, such as being alert and following safety guidelines. Lastly, we want to survive. Even with preparation and caution, emergencies can still happen. So we'll talk about how to recognize a crisis early and how to react without putting yourself and others at further risk. Prepare is our first key to water safety. Oh, this all needs to be changed to drowning prevention. I'm sorry.
That's really good to know. I don't know if we were aware of that.
Yeah, it's the Lifesaving Society. We just can't use that language.
Totally. I have clocked that for the future.
Yeah. Prepare is our first key to drowning prevention. This means taking time before you're near the water to think about what could go wrong and how you'll handle it. Ask yourself questions like, is there a lifeguard? Do I know how deep the water is? Are there any currents or hidden hazards? Preparation is also setting clear rules for kids, knowing where your rescue equipment is, or checking the weather before heading out. We have created, we, or sorry, When we take a few minutes to prepare, we're not only keeping ourselves safe, but we are also creating a safer environment for everyone around us. So, some things that you can do to help prevent drowning related events can start even before anyone gets in the water. Many drowning incidents involve factors that swimming skills alone cannot prepare for. So, together, let's make a list of ways we can prepare ourselves or prepare those under your supervision. Please feel free to drop your ideas in the chat. A few examples are putting children in swimming lessons, putting community leaders in water watchers course, making sure to pack a water bottle for a beach day.
Okay, so I'm
And I will read out in the chat, or
see the
potentially, if I
chat.
can't see the chat, someone else will have to read it out. Um,
Can you see it, Lori?
uh, Yes, sunscreen. Okay, yes, I can see it as a little screen in the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's just a tiny little screen and it pops up. So like as it changes, it might not, so I might not have the full list. So at this point, maybe we can have Amisha maybe just listing them out for me.
cool. Amisha, are you comfortable with actually coming on screen and doing that for us? If you prefer not to, I can also do that for you. Let me know what you're
Yeah,
more comfortable with.
I don't mind at all. I'm definitely cool with reading them out loud.
Okay, cool. All right, so then you're going to be like our co-facilitator, which is great. So we'll introduce you at the beginning as well, if
All
that's
right,
okay.
sounds good.
Perfect. Okay, great. All right, next.
Okay, so this slide outlines the checklist that we developed to help ensure a safe swimming environment before anybody gets into the water. We have put a checklist into the chat and you can use it as a resource and keep it saved to your device. I'm going to add in here, read the slide, because I don't have the in my notes. So some other things you can do: a shallow water debris search, a beach cleanup, check the weather, create a participant list, ensure equipment is in good shape, set up boundaries, or check water conditions. An important part of being prepared is checking the weather ahead of time. While spring and summer means warmer temperatures, there are still heat-related risks to think about. Fall and winter could mean cooler temperatures. Water and air temperatures drop significantly during these months. Ice and snow become a reality. Ensure swimming takes place during daylight hours. After dark is not safe for visibility-related reasons. High winds or storm-like weather can also pose a threat. For the most part of the year, the water temperatures are cold in natural bodies of water. Emergencies like hypothermia are something to prepare for. Having dry clothes, extra towels, and life jackets are some ways we can stay safe. Check the weather ahead of time so you are prepared. Make sure to pack items such as sunscreen, extra clothing, and water to protect you from the heat and sun. We want to avoid heat exhaustion, heat stroke, sunburn, and dehydration. Wear sunglasses. Polarized sunglasses make a world of difference to see through the water. Always make sure someone knows you'll be near water just in case something happens. Even if you're a designated water watcher, it's always best to let someone know so they can check in on you. As an added safety measure, having a second water watcher to help is always a good idea. Sharing the responsibility also helps to avoid fatigue. Now we will go through a few scenarios where the weather alerts can help us think about water safety. I'm going to change that to drowning prevention. Now we will go through a few scenarios where weather alerts can help us think about drowning prevention. Weather can change quickly, and it's important to know how to respond to different alerts. I'm going to show you a few common weather alerts on the next slides. Weather differs depending on the location and time of year. Lightning and thunder. It's important to clear the water immediately if you hear thunder or see lightning. Follow the 30-30 rule. If you see lightning and hear thunder less than 30 seconds later, it means the storm is close enough to be dangerous and you should immediately seek shelter. Wait at least 30 minutes after the last thunderclap before resuming outdoor activities. High winds can cause visibility challenges and increase waves and whitecaps on the water. High winds can cause loose debris to fly in the air. Be sure to clear the area if it becomes unsafe. Heavy rain and hail. Heavy rain can make seeing through the water surface difficult. Large hail can injure swimmers. Fog can make it hard to see hazards or people. Close areas if visibility is poor. Remember to always check the weather conditions before heading out. That's the next slide. The next one. Here are a few other potential hazards we want to be mindful of. Water depths and drop-offs can shift due to dams, rainfall, and tides. Cold, deep water can cause hypothermia even in the summer. Cloudiness or debris can signal unsafe swimming areas. Muddy water can hide submerged objects. Breaking waves or strong surf can knock swimmers off balance and cause visibility challenges. Marine hazards, you want to make sure that you're mindful of jellyfish, sea urchin, eels, leeches, or snapping turtles. Thermoclines, the surface might feel warm, but deeper layers of the water can be dangerously cold. Currents and whirlpools can trap and disorientate swimmers, even if it looks calm. Beware of blue-green algae, also known as cyanobacteria. This is a type of bacteria found in many lakes and ponds and reservoirs. Algae forms when the conditions are calm, and the algae can be blue or green or greenish brown and often smells musty or grassy, and it looks like scum on the surface of the water. Algae, murky water, or floating trash can hide danger. Blue-green algae, when it contains cyanobacteria, can be dangerous to your health if ingested and cause skin irritation. Blue-green algae can also cause poor visibility in the water. Remember to always obey posted signage and always be aware of any warnings posted for open water. Next, we are going to talk about how to make safe choices in and around the water. As a water watcher, your active presence can prevent drownings. Watch children attentively around all bodies of water, even if they can swim, even if you're not in the water. Don't forget that drowning is silent. Monitor for risky behaviors and keep regular head counts. Encourage the use of life jackets and PFDs by everyone. The goal is to be proactive and prevent incidences by keeping others and yourself safe. When it comes to life jackets or personal flotation devices, close by isn't close enough. Always choose to wear your life jacket or PFD. Inspect your flotation devices regularly. Replace if there are any rips or signs of wear. Store them in a well-ventilated area. Keep them clean and easily accessible. I had also added a comment here and I forgot to add it into the actual slide, but ensure you are wearing proper sizing for your proper sizing. Use the thumbs up test. So you're going to give 2 thumbs up. You're going to reach under your life jacket at the shoulders. And if you can lift the life jacket up above your chin or your ears, you should check the sizing. Drowning incidences during boating claim hundreds of lives a year.
Do you have a life jacket at your place, Lori? That I think it would be really fun if you happen to have one and actually demonstrate.
I can. I
Okay.
can. I won't be at home. I'll be at the office, and I have life jackets at the office, so I can definitely pull one out and do that. At home, there's too many distractions, so I'll be doing the presentation at the office.
Totally. Yeah, that'd be fun if you feel like it's appropriate and doable.
No, I think that's totally, and I can even pop. Let me just add that into oops, my notes here. Just gonna say. read the slide, put on life jacket, and then I'll read out my little.
That's so fun. And then also like any of the pieces where it talks about like preparation in advance, like any of the kits, if you happened to have like a kit that you like to use before you go out, feel free to like actually pop it out, show people what's in your kit. That kind of thing is also super fun.
Sounds good. I will keep that in mind and see where I can maybe do some of that.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
great.
Next slide. So we're going to talk about, okay, I think I need a little intro to this one to make it sound better. Yeah, there is the beach cleanup kit, which I could show. For flow of the presentation, it might be, I mean, I might be able to pull it out as we're like talking, like as I'm like listing off the checklist of things. I can probably do that.
Hi, Leslieanne. I'm glad you're able to make it.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, I'll watch the beginning part of it. I do have some feedback, so I'll save it to the end.
Perfect.
But going great so far.
Okay, so let's talk about staying safe at indoor and outdoor pools. One, we want to make sure that we follow posted pool rules. Two, have safety equipment nearby. Three, stay within the boundaries, deep and shallow areas. Four, be vigilant on slides, diving boards, lazy rivers. Five, swim with a buddy. Stay within boundaries and know where your deep and shallow ends start and end. So let's talk about staying safe at lakes. That is not actually in my notes, so I'm just adding that in quickly. Use Use towels, sunscreen, hats, polarized sunglasses, and water. Watch the weather conditions and water conditions. Three, locate equipment, boundaries, ropes, buoys, docks, and water or sports gear. Boating related deaths are where most frequently related to capsizing and falling overboard. 35% of drownings occurred in lakes and ponds. Let's talk about staying safe at rivers. So number one, we want to watch out for river currents and obstacles. Currents, especially around docks, bridge pillars, and dams, have enormous power and can easily trap swimmers. Obstacles in a river can be lethal. Two, if you are stuck in a river or current, get on your back and go downstream feet first. Once out of the strongest part of the current, swim towards the shore. 26% of drownings have occurred in rivers. Safety aspects of a river are similar to lakes, but with some added considerations, such as currents. Even when we have the best intentions as water watchers, drownings can still happen often. It's not because someone wasn't there, but because of how they were paying attention. Research shows that many drownings in supervised areas happen when a bystander or a lifeguard is present but fails to notice the person is in distress. These situations often involve just a few key things we want to highlight those so we can avoid them. I think that sentence needs to be changed. Some of these are the most common challenges water watchers face, and they are based on real patterns seen in drowning incidents. The first is loss of focus. It might seem harmless to glance at your phone, answer a quick text, or chat with someone for a moment, but that moment could be when a swimmer quietly goes under. Our attention can drift easily, especially in calm settings where nothing seems urgent, so staying locked in is critical. The second challenge is missed signals. Drowning rarely looks like what we expect. It's not loud or dramatic. It's fast, quiet, and subtle. Someone might be upright but not making progress or appear still and silent. If we don't know what to look for, or if we're distracted, we can miss these signs entirely. When we understand these challenges, loss of focus, missed signs, we're better prepared to resist them. Awareness is the first line of defense. These risks don't just apply to lifeguards, but they can affect all of us. As water watchers, we might not be formally trained, but we still have the responsibility to stay alert and stay present. Recognizing what can pull our attention away or make us miss something subtle is what helps us break the pattern that leads to tragedy. By staying focused, minimizing distractions, and knowing what to look for, we can truly make a difference. It's not about doing everything perfectly, but about committing to being fully present, even just for a short period of time. That focus can save a life. It is also important to note that there are very few drowning deaths occurred in lifeguard supervised settings, such as pools and waterfronts. During the 2015 to 2019, only 1% of all water-related deaths occurred in a setting supervised by lifeguards. That just goes to show how important your role as a water watcher to prepare and stay safe can be. So let's explore some ways to respond to a water-related emergency. Survive is important, but as a water watcher, you are never responsible for getting into the water to perform a rescue. In the next couple of slides, we will discuss different types of swimmers, and we will review the signs that tell us when a situation begins to look like assistance is needed when someone is in the water. It's good practice to have a plan of action if an emergency is to happen. Some ideas can include calling for help, calling 911, finding a lifeguard if there are any present, throwing an object in that can float, reaching from a safe distance with an object, or using a watercraft. So what does a safe or normal swimmer look like? Their breathing is usually rhythmic, their arms and legs are coordinated, their body is horizontal, and you can see movement. They are comfortable in the water, they might be smiling, their legs are kicking, and their shoulders are at or above the surface. So let's review the signs of an injured or a distressed swimmer. They might be calling for help. They might be injured or sometimes silent, active drowning or non. Actually, I'm going to take that out. So sometimes silent, because that's going to be on the next slide. So they could be calling for help if they're injured, floating, sculling, maybe waving for help. Their body could be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, and they have little or no forward progress. Distressed swimmers are usually at the surface and still able to make noise or call for help. Now let's review the signs of an active drowning or a non-swimmer. They're not able to call for help. Their mouth is at or under the surface. They're climbing a ladder or their arms are going out to the side. Their body is in a vertical, diagonal, or they are under the surface. They have little or no forward progress, and their head is pointed up to the surface of the water. A good indication that somebody is in trouble is their head positioning. Someone who is in distress, their face will be pointing up, trying to get as much air as they can get. It's important to note that they might not be making any sounds. They will be scared, and you can see it in their face if you can see their face. And their only goal is to breathe. Drowning is silent and happens quickly. A few gulps of water can cause someone to go unconscious. An unconscious swimmer could be face down or under the surface, and they could be in a vertical or a horizontal position. An unconscious swimmer is not always floating on the surface in a front float. They could be under the surface. For more information and public education resources, please refer to the links posted on the slide. April will share the links for you in the chat. We are a proud partner of the Lifesaving Society in delivering drowning prevention programs. For more information, please visit your provincial Lifesaving Society website. Here you can find public education resources, drowning prevention reports, and information on courses. And then I need to add in thank you for joining us today. I did not add that in. we will begin our question period.
Okay. How long was that?
It was 30 minutes. I tried my best to pause it whenever we kind of had side comments. At the beginning, I kind of tracked how long each slide was, but that lost. I gave up eventually.
No
But
worries.
it was about 31 minutes in total.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. I kind of kept a running doc of questions that I came up with. It's in the folder. I just called it Water Watcher FAQ, and I also noted down things that came up while we were talking, like the idea of the example kits, double checking to replace text, and stuff like that as well.
Awesome.
Really helpful. Thank you.
Do you want me to just talk about the pieces I've seen so far today, like this or just now? I haven't seen the script yet, so I don't know if you sent it over yet in my I haven't checked my email, but I would like to see the script as well, just to kind of give some notes. There are some notes I have on some fine picky language points that that we're trying to make the change to for a few things, and you already caught the drowning prevention, which is fantastic. But yeah, where do you want me to go with the couple of thoughts that I have from where I started?
They're all in the presentation.
They're all the speaking notes are in the slides?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I make comments on speaking notes?
Yeah, why don't we do that? So everyone can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we're able to see all the comments on the slides themselves, and then we can also take a look at what we have in the script, and we can go slide by slide.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna start on slide 4, which is where the presentation starts. And let me know when to move on or if we'd like to stop at a slide.
Yeah. I will also watch the recording too, just to see how the beginning part of it went as I'm going
Okay, sounds good. All right, so
as well.
we're good for this one, right? Next.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. I love this photo. And I think this is Lori in the middle, right? Is that Lori? Yeah,
It was
I think so.
perfect.
Awesome.
Yep. And we have the photo releases for the right for those individuals in the photo.
Oh, Lori, you're on mute.
Jasmine should have those.
Yeah, Jasmine should have them.
Okay, beautiful. So just for the indigenous, because I missed the indigenous perspective slide. Do you go off the speaking notes, or do you add anything else to the speaking notes, like your own couple of experiences, or because it looks like there's more to the speaking notes than what's. Yeah, there we go. Okay, okay, beautiful. I love and I love that you brought the Wasaki Jacks. I love that. It's one of my favorite stories. Creation stories is flood stories is one of the trickster. So I can recite that one start to finish because I love that one, and that's a fantastic one to
So
share.
for the Indigenous focus, I didn't really change any of the other slides or any
Okay.
of the content
Nope.
or anything.
Nope,
The
that's fine.
only addition is this one slide. That's it.
Yeah. Which
And
I think is great.
yeah, I
It's
didn't want to
no.
like overly complicate things
Nope.
or yeah, and just keeping it very general in terms of like nations.
Absolutely, because and I
Yeah.
think like I don't know if you mentioned like because I mean this the piece where people can tailor how they are a water watcher and tie it to their own cultures in their own nations in their own communities. I think is really fantastic. Do we have mentioned something that we've always tried and that we've tied in for a lot of our communities as we've been asked to do so is that as a water watcher, as a lifeguard, working in community, you're not just protecting the people, but the waterways themselves. You become a protector of the waterways and the people. Is that something that was mentioned or that we want to mention? It has something that we have tied it into our lifeguard and other leadership training for aquatics. So I don't know if that's something that you want to include in there. I'll leave that to you.
I will think on that one.
Yeah,
I'll think on
you
that
go
one.
ahead and think again. So that might be it could be community specific to some of the ones that we were working with. So I'm not sure, right? So just kind of that is something that has been brought up by some of our communities, which I love the idea of as well.
No,
But
I like the idea of it. It's just where it would fit
where it might
into my
fit and
speaking notes.
does it fit? That's
I
up
think
to
it
you.
could fit. I think I just need to think on that a little bit
Yeah.
and how I
Nope.
might work that in there.
Yeah,
I
that
have
is
some ideas.
just
I
a
mean, when we're
thought.
talking about Wokotowin and we're talking about that kinship, that's not
Mm-hmm.
just talking about the kinship with our human relatives.
Yeah.
It's talking about the kinship with our non-human relatives, also meaning water
Hmm.
and stuff
I
as
love
well.
that.
So I think I can play with that a little bit and
Okay.
include that in there. I just need to think on it a little
For
bit and
sure.
how I might say that,
For sure. No,
just so that it flows properly. No,
yep.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. But I think that's a right track. I think that was a very beautiful way of putting it is not just kinship to the people, but kinship to the land and the non-human relations as well. Love that.
I love that too. I also just remembered, um, where would we like to share the one pager in the chat for audiences? I'm not sure if we fit
Mm,
where it makes sense. I'm happy to do it at the
Honey.
beginning or the end because maybe by the end it's like we shared a lot of this information today and here is a takeaway,
mm.
the three steps, and I can do it right before we get into the Q&A as an example.
Sorry, what was the question? I got distracted. My dog was crying.
We're trying to figure out where to share the one pager, and we're wondering if we should share it at the very end, where it's like, we shared these three steps. Here's a takeaway that you can print at home, you can share with your family and
I
communities.
think at the end would be best. I feel like if we're sharing it like during the presentation, I think it could get lost.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
my my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And we also might have the Q&A sheet as well. So there's potentially two documents that we will share at the end. So it's the one pager and then the FAQ doc before we get into the Q&A.
Are we sending out a survey? I'm guessing afterwards as well with a link to do a survey for the to get feedback from the group.
So it's the standard survey that we have across all of our webinars. And
Yeah.
Lori and LA, I will share what those questions are with you to make sure that
Hmm.
we're covering all our bases and any questions that you want to collect. We can add those into this particular survey, so we're getting all the data.
Okay. Is it something that attachments can be added to as well if it's like overwhelming to have too many coming through the webinar?
Oh,
Potentially, like is that an option or is that just not you can't do that because of the way the surveys are set up?
I don't think we can put in attachments, but
Okay.
I will be sharing the recording with folks, so maybe we can just put the one pager in that
In with the
email.
recording
Yeah.
as a summary of the recording, essentially of the details.
Yeah, it's one option for sure.
Yeah.
Like
There's a
definitely.
few different ways.
Yeah.
Ellie, you've seen the one pager, right?
No, not yet. Just the
I think
PowerPoint
I
and
sent it to you.
it's possible. I'm still filtering
Yeah, I
through
sent it to you
to
in Teams.
okay.
It was a Canva link.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any comments here?
Mm, no. April, you've done a lot of the presentations for like the webinars that we've done for Indigenous communities. Has there been, because I know just from experience in some of the locations that I've been working in for whether it's a conference or summit or whatnot, sometimes we've just used the word Red Cross water safety versus Canadian. Just is there has there been any opposition from Indigenous communities around Canadian, the use of Canadian in the yes, it is who we are, but it is just sometimes just to avoid that, we just use Red Cross. Is that
And
something that I don't know, Lori, is that a concern? Do you think along the way? I'm just again speaking from experience where sometimes it has drawn concern from participants.
okay, I have not seen anything myself, but Lori?
Okay.
Think so. And I think I think it's important to differentiate Canadian Red Cross from like International Red Cross. I feel
Yep.
like when people think Red Cross, they are probably thinking, international kind of
Hmm.
stuff that the Red Cross does. They're not necessarily always thinking local. So
Yeah.
I think Canadian Red Cross is totally fine to say.
All right, I'm good with that. I just said just it's always just a question I ask when because it has like I said it has come up and had some heat occasionally.
Mm, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I know, without
In
getting into too,
certain regions.
I would say in
Certain
certain
regions.
regions, and then I would say in certain different contexts as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
especially around like things like Canada Day or Indigenous
Yeah.
Peoples Day or even Truth and Reconciliation Day. I feel like that topic definitely comes up a lot more than it normally would any other time of the year. I have thoughts around that, but we won't get
Mm-hmm.
into that.
Yeah.
Not today. Well, no, welcome to my TED Talk.
Yeah, can we just change, just sorry, just in the speaking notes here, we didn't develop the Water Watchers program specifically. We just kind of, because there's lots of them out there. So we weren't necessarily the first to develop a Water Watcher program, but we just became involved in the Water Watcher movement, I guess. Might be a better way, just so that we're not taking credit for developing or creating a Water Watch, the specific Water Watcher program. There's lots of them out there.
Yeah, I'm seeing that we did say develop. So should we replace this with
I just wonder if we just say, became involved in the Water Watcher movement, by partnering. Yeah, because
that,
there's lots and lots and lots of them
yep,
that you can come across. Yeah.
good to know. I am learning a lot myself about.
Okay, yeah, no, I love all that.
Great. And again, amazing photo.
Yeah, that's actually from our very first photo shoot from our second year program up in East Prairie.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
such
with some of our original instructors. Love it.
okay, the poll.
Yeah,
Sorry, my dog.
that's thank you.
You just
Yeah,
hear
and
me
thank
yell,
you, Lori, for
honey.
letting
I'm
me
not
know.
shouting at you guys. I'm shouting at my dog.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know too where the stats were coming from, because we've always used Red Cross stats primarily, which we still have and have some current ones, but just where some of the more current ones were coming from, I like to know where they are coming from, and I actually need to confirm and find out where if we're going to be talking drowning prevention stats, if life saving, if we should be primarily using theirs where we can, I think which you have, and then supplementing with others as well, but just because we are running their swim program. They are the next.
I just wanted to use just the drowning prevention statistics. I think
Yeah.
there's some really great infographics. They have the whole drowning report. It's easy to read for
Yeah.
public without
Yeah.
being too aquatic,
Yes.
like terminology, I mean. And then also just with like the government of Canada's website, I feel like they probably do have some good accurate numbers there in terms of like very specific, but
Hmm.
their site is just so hard to look at.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
I've
so
seen all the
I just
life-saving
yeah, so
ones.
I'm
They're
not a
good.
huge fan of using those stats,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad you're using mostly life-saving stats, because that's just, again, that's who we are representing in the aquatic piece of what we do. So I think that's a really good piece to note.
Yeah, so I had gone through because there wasn't a whole lot of them. I had gone
Yeah.
through and I had put them in into my speaking notes actually and threw in a
Perfect.
few other stats in there.
Yeah.
The next slide is all from the Government of Canada. But again, I did
Okay.
mention and then I changed it to add in the 2024 Drowning Prevention Report as a just like in my speaking notes as
Mhm.
just a mention of that as
Beautiful.
I reference it
Yeah.
in for the rest of the slides. So
Okay.
yeah. And then I popped that in the link in there for you, April, so that you can also share that um with people as well.
Hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Just so I'm clear, do I share this link here in the chat? This one? Okay.
Yeah. I think you could share both, April, especially because we are referencing
Hmm.
the info base in this particular slide. But as like, if at the end when we're sharing all of the resources, I would like a little more emphasis on the National Drowning Report.
That makes
Hmm.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will share both and I'll put in a little blurb in the text of like what it is. And it's like so
Hmm. And
short.
like if you go there, like it has some great visuals too. Like it's really easy. Like they have like just basically a stat document, and then they have the full drowning report.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. I love that we changed this from the ladder. That's fantastic. I think the steps work really well. Lori, is it possible, and just thinking of your flow a little bit, is when you talked about this slide, you went from lifeguard to water watcher. So a couple of things for that kind of tweaked for me is moving from top to bottom of the stairs goes against the arrow. So visually it's weird, right? Because the arrow goes up the stairs, but you're going down the stairs in your discussion. And also I'm wondering, does it still work with your flow for you to start with the go from water watcher to lifeguard in as if it's like you're building, you